in the U.S. Air Force, where he led various Air Force specialties in the areas of information management and communications. As a scholar practitioner, Dr. Walter McCullough has authored and published 7 books: Process Improvement in Quality Management Systems, Case Studies, Analyzing Carnegie Mellon's Capability Maturity Model, Applied Change Management, Approaches to Organizational Change and Transformation, Strength of a Black Man, Destined for Self-Empowerment, Breakthrough Mentoring in the 21st Century, and on and on. Please give it up for Dr. Walter McCullough.
How's everybody doing this morning? How's everyone doing? Good, that's what I'm talking about. I'm so excited to be here today just to speak with you and share some nuggets with you that would potentially change your life. I just want to talk a little bit first about who I am, but then I want to go back to my backstory, which was a tumultuous childhood where I had to suffer a lot of trauma and pain, but I was able to get through it to get to the place that I am now. So currently I'm the Dean of Student Affairs at Walden University, and actually I'm the first African-American male to be appointed to deanship at Walden University in its 50-year history. So that deserves a round of applause, right? So I grew up in South Carolina, in Union, South Carolina, a very small town where there weren't many opportunities, there were not a lot of mentors and coaches, there was not a lot of motivation to live. I grew up in a single-parent household with my mother. My mother was an alcoholic. My mother was addicted to drugs. My father left when I was 3 years old. So growing up as an only child, it was very difficult for me. I had no brothers and sisters to share, to talk with, to release the pain, and just think about what I was feeling. But the thing about it is, my grandfather was the person who inspired me and motivated me and encouraged me to continue to run on to see what the end would be. He encouraged me to go to college. In fact, one of the things that I joke about when I share this story is my grandfather would say, boy, get the highest level of schooling, not education, but schooling that you can get, because no one can take education away from you. So I suffered manic depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, a lot of mental health issues growing up as a child based upon the trauma and the pain that I was subjected to, not having role models, seeing my mother going down the tubes and spending the majority of my time trying to go find my mother in houses, hoping that she was alive and not knowing if I would see the next day, or running after her trying to determine if she was going to be healthy or not, right? That story might resonate with some of you. It may or may not. But the message that I want to leave as it relates to my story is that your past does not dictate your future. Everyone say, your past does not dictate your future. And that's very important. That is so very important for you to hold on to, because oftentimes in life we face obstacles that we have no control over, but we've got to be strong enough, and we've got to find the necessary support to get us through those obstacles. So that's a little bit about who I am what I experienced as a child, but it impacted me in many different ways. So when you have a background like that, you become hopeless, right? You start to think about, going down the path that you're familiar with. Your friends are incarcerated or going into juvenile detention, right? You see people on the street corners hustling, selling drugs. That's the familiar territory that I was a part of. So at the age of 7, I had a dream, and I never forget. I woke up out of the dream crying. And you know what that dream was? I was walking across a stage that looked something like this as a child, but when I got to the other side, someone greeted me as Dr. McCullough. So that was my first vision of knowing that at some point I would become a doctor. It was up to me to find the resources, to gain the support necessary to get to that particular place where I would achieve those goals, right? So it didn't stop there. I went into the Air Force at the age of 17. I wasn't even old enough to get in the Air Force. My dad had to sign me in. I ran away to the Air Force. And the reason I did that because I needed to escape the environment and the community in which I was a part of. The environment that had tipped at my soul, and the environment that whispered in my ear and told me that you're not going to amount to anything because you're nothing. The environment in which I was encouraged to sell drugs. The environment in which I was encouraged to abuse because I was abused. The environment to walk around thinking that I owned everything and it was all about me because that's what I saw. So I want to leave you with 10 points. I've shared the first one is that your past doesn't determine your future. You can do anything that you want to do so long as you stay determined, focused, dedicated, committed, and hopeful, knowing that the best is yet to come. Someone always will have a situation that's worse than yours. So education is the most powerful weapon one can use to change the world. Those are the words of the Honorable Nelson Mandela. And I share that with you because education changed the trajectory of my life. Going through high school, I was a mediocre student, but I also had coaches, and I also had teachers that inspired me to do something greater and to do something better. So I encourage you in middle school to make sure that you're taking the advanced courses or preparing to think about what you're going to be doing in high school to create a path of success for yourself. Science, technology, engineering, math, yes, I mean, sometimes we don't want to take the difficult courses that's going to create a path for us. School and college, higher education is not for everyone. You all have your unique purpose, you have your unique passions that you're excited about. I encourage you and challenge you to stay focused and move in that particular direction. To whom much is given, much is expected and required. What does that mean? That means that all of the opportunities that come your way, all of the resources that you're connected to, all the people like these brothers sitting on the panel and myself that are here today investing in you, we're giving because we're required to do that. Someone gave to us. Someone sat down and shared this type of information with us to contribute to success in our lives in some way. I want to talk about 3 key points, and you may not be familiar with the terms, and if you have something to write with, I see a couple of you do, I want you to write them down. One is emotional intelligence. I want to share a few points about that. The other one is cultural intelligence. I want to share a few points about that, and the other is spiritual intelligence. I want to talk a little bit about emotional intelligence because this is something we don't really talk about in middle school, but we should start. This is how we show up in the world, being able to regulate our own emotions. Oftentimes when we've been faced with trauma, such as the example I shared about my life, we're angry, frustrated, turn on the news and there's a depiction of certain ethnical backgrounds, right, on the news. You know, for example, I wanted to share with the black students in here. What do you see? What's the image of a black man on the news? What? Shooting. But that's not, we know that we're not a monolith. We're not one particular species within our race, right? So I wanted to share that example because it's so important to show up a certain way, right? We've got to be able to articulate. We've got to be able to communicate. We've got to be able to relate to people so that people will value us, respect us, change their perspective of who we really are as people. So those are some of the things that I want you to start to think about is how am I showing up? What's my presentation? How does people view me when they see me? So first, when we talk about emotional intelligence, it's basically about being able to understand that I have triggers. When people talk to me a certain way, people approach me a certain way, I get upset. I become frustrated. I become angry. Whether it's your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your teachers, sometimes, right? They say things that you don't agree with. So those are some of the things you have to do is think about how you're going to control your emotions so that you can pull back when you feel like you're being pressured or someone is touching your trigger points to make you react a certain way. Cultural intelligence is another key component that I want to talk briefly about. It's being able to acclimate or integrate into other cultures. So for example, when I walked in the room, I noticed immediately, I see to the right side, there are more Hispanics. Left side, there are more people of color, black people, African Americans. Why do you think that is? Comfort zone, right? And I bring that out because, listen up. Can I have your attention, please, briefly? Listen up. This is very important. You need to know how to integrate with other cultures because once you get to high school, once you get into the workforce, you're going to be working with various cultures, right? Different people, you're going to have to learn their cultures, their backgrounds, what makes them tick, how can they benefit you and important to your life, and vice versa. The last point I want to leave is spiritual intelligence. That's really just your moral compass of you making the right decisions, making the right choices based upon decisions that you make. And one of the quotes that I want to leave you with is my very favorite one by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Everyone cannot be famous, but everyone can be great. Greatness is shown through service. Volunteerism is really important. Volunteer as much as possible, whether it's here at school, in your community, different organizations, because once you get to high school, it's going to be important for you to have some type of history of how you've served in some way, because we're all here to do what? To fulfill a purpose and to contribute to changing the world in some way. Thank you so much. Can we give one more round of applause? I know you have questions for our two speakers so far. Have some questions? Awesome. Ooh! Ooh! Awesome, all right, okay. I like that. Y'all hyped up already. One more time. Ooh! Awesome. If you're in the house, if you're from El Salvador, send you away, El Salvador, okay? Mexico in the house, okay? Any other Hispanic Mexican not forgetting? Bolivia, okay? Colombia? All right, awesome. Well, ooh! Something that's super important, I'll wait. Bring it back. Something that's super important in the journey of life is seeing people who look like you in positions of power and in pathways that you also want to take. And that's why I want to make sure that we all recognize and give a great round of applause for our next speaker, Mr. Carlos Sanchez. Wait, let me introduce you first, y'all. Y'all are really excited. I love it. Mr. Carlos Sanchez parents moved to the United States from El Salvador, and they settled in Langley Park, Maryland. Where? I'll wait. Bring it back. Where Mr. Sanchez was born on April 1st. I'll leave out the last few days of his birthday, 19 blank blank. He
attended Tacoma Academy, a 7-day Adventist school in Tacoma Park before earning his associate's degree. From Montgomery College and a bachelor's degree from the University of Maryland, College Park. He has worked as a public safety training officer for Montgomery College since the 2000, and the county's Young Democrat. And by 2014 has been elected in the countywide Democratic Center Committee as the president of his neighborhood association. In 2015, following the resignation of Delegate Will Campbell-Sanchez, he ran for the appointment of the open seat and was representing a heavily Hispanic district, District 47B. Please give it up for Mr. Delegate Carlos Sanchez.
Hey guys, how's it going? Good? Good. Hey, let me ask you guys something. You guys ever felt like you were someplace that you shouldn't be? Like you didn't belong where you were? Maybe a little bit like a fraud. I got a secret to tell you guys, alright? And I'm gonna keep it just between all of you and us right here. It's not gonna get out of this room, alright? I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here. You know, my parents, they came here from El Salvador back in the 70s. They were undocumented immigrants. They crossed the border illegally. My dad did some time, 6 months in a Mexican jail because he got caught the first time. And he tried again as soon as he got home. My parents met in Langley Park. That's where I was born. That's where I grew up. And my entire life, you know, I felt blessed. I had all these amazing opportunities. But every single time that it happened, there were two things. One, I was the only person that looked like me in the room. And two, I just felt like I didn't belong. Like I hadn't done enough to deserve it. You know, I looked at someone like Joshua, wherever he went. If I had been in high school and I had been in that college, I could only imagine what I would have been able to accomplish. When I was in high school, my freshman year, I was doing too high. And I had a teacher, Dr. Charles Taft. We had a parent-teacher conference, and my dad comes in to the parent-teacher conference. And my dad says, Dr. Taft, tell me, how's my son doing? And Dr. Taft, he had this very low voice. And he goes, this boy right here? I don't know about him. And he went on to tell my dad how I wasn't paying attention in class, how I was distracting other people in class, how I didn't turn in my homework, because I didn't do my homework. How he was sending notes home, and they'd come back signed by my dad or my mom, but he had an eerie feeling that they weren't signing those papers, that I was. And he laid it all out there to my dad, and he said, look, I'm going to keep working with this boy, but you got to work with him too. Because the thing that's really, really getting my goat is that even though he doesn't pay attention in class, even though he doesn't do his homework, when he takes tests, he gets A's on his tests. Because I want to flunk him so that he'll learn a lesson. But I can't, because he keeps earning enough to get a C and get by. And that's how I lived my life through high school. I did enough to get by. You know, my parents, they had a great school education when they came to the country, and they worked hard. They both had 2 jobs. Most days, I'd go home, and there'd be some food in the microwave waiting for me that my mom left, and I'd spend the majority of my time in the evenings at home alone, waiting for them to get home later that night from work. So it was up to me if I did my homework, which I didn't. It was up to me to make sure that I had dinner and whatever else I needed to do. And it was tough. And I did just enough to get by because I didn't want anyone to see who I was. I didn't want anyone asking me questions. I didn't want to get singled out and have to be in front of a big group of people like this. This, right here, this was my nightmare for the majority of my life, being in front of people and having to talk. But you know what happened? When I graduated high school, my dad pulled me aside and he said, "Mijo, I'm going to tell you something. You graduating high school and even potentially, possibly going to college is such a big deal. We never had a dream of doing that ourselves. When we came to this country, we started working these jobs, and we started doing all this stuff. It was really so that if we had a child, you'd be able to get by and live a more comfortable life than we did. As far as I'm concerned, you've done your part." He said, now I want you to dream. And I want you to think about what it is that you want to do in your life. And whatever it is, whatever that thing is, I promise you that your mom and I will support you 100%, no matter what. Even if you fail, every single time, you'll have a house to come to. You'll have 3 warm meals. And you'll turn back around and you'll go try again. You know what that meant for me? That meant I could do whatever I wanted. You know what I wanted to do? I have no idea. What are you talking about? I'm 18 years old. I graduated high school barely. You think I was thinking about a career? I didn't know what I was going to do. So I went to community college. And I went to a high school where I had kids, my friends, when they were seniors, they were already taking classes at the University of Maryland. I went to community college, like, okay, I guess I'll just start taking classes. And you know what happened? The first day, I walked into my first class, the first class I ever took, Speech 101. The first day, the professor said, okay, you guys are it's your first day at college. The first thing you're going to do, you're going to go to the front of the room and you're going to introduce yourself to the rest of the class. And I'm going to videotape you. And then you're going to go home and you're going to sit with your family and you're going to show them this tape. And they're going to tell you all the things you can do better as a public speaker. And so I did it. And I went home. And watching yourself on tape, you guys ever videotape yourself and watch yourself on tape? Kind of awkward, right? Watching yourself, you don't really want to look, but you want to see that other people like it. And I sat there, and I remember my dad looked at me, and he said, "That's you. You're in college. You're doing something. I'm so proud of you." And it reminded me that everything that I was doing wasn't just about me, but it was about them. I kept studying, did what I was supposed to do, figured out I wanted a career, studied criminal justice. I did some time as a fake cop. I was a security guard for a time. Eventually turned that into a career where I was managing a security force for the college, for Montgomery College where I was studying. And then one day, I got pulled over by the police. Now, I get pulled over by the police a lot. From the time I was 18 to the time I was 30, I was probably getting pulled over 4 or 5 times a year. I like to speed sometimes. I ran some ragged cars with illegal tints and some other things. Things you should never do, right guys? And I had a really bad experience with that police officer. And so it made me get more involved. What was going on with the police force? How were they training them? What were they doing? And that's how I got introduced to politics. I met elected officials and everything else. And then, almost to this day, 4 years ago, I stood in Annapolis in the oldest state house in this country, a building where George Washington stood after the Revolutionary War as a general of the Revolutionary Army. I stood on a dais, standing next to the governor of the state and the Speaker of the House, with the Senate President sitting here, my two parents, who former undocumented immigrants, now citizens, they're all good, and my wife. And I got sworn into the General Assembly, representing the neighborhood that my parents came to when they came to this country. I felt like I didn't belong there. I felt like a fraud man. But you know what? It's where I was supposed to be. You don't know where you're gonna end up. You can have it planned out, some people do. You can not have it planned out, some people don't. You can be great at school, you can not be great at school. There's nothing that's gonna determine where you're gonna end up. But my piece of advice for you, whatever situation you find yourself in, take it till you make it, because you deserve to be there. All right? That's what I do every single day. All right? You guys are happy, right? And I'll leave you with one final thing, and this is actually for the parents, all right? This is for the parents. Do one thing, all right? Do me a favor and do one thing. Tell your kids that no matter what it is that they want to do, you have their back 100%. If you do that, let me tell you something. To this day, I know that if everything falls apart, I can go back home. And my mom and my dad will be waiting for me. They'll make room in their spare bedroom. And my mom will cook me 3 meals a day, okay? So if you do that for your kids, they won't let you down, I promise you. All right? Thank you so much, guys.
One more round of applause for Delegate Sanchez. All right. All right, just a quick question. How many of you want to be astronauts when you grow up? Any astronauts in the house? Okay, we got one astronaut here. How many of you want to be dancers when you grow up? Dancers and models? Okay. How many of you want to own your own business? Okay. How many of you want to travel the world? Travel the world. Okay. All right. How many of you want to be DJs when you grow up? DJs in the house? Oh, I had a couple of DJs in the house. Okay. All right. Well, our next speaker, he has traveled the world. He has traveled the world. He has gone to many places: Canada, Germany, Switzerland, you name it. He's been there, and he's also a DJ. Mr. DJ Flex was born and raised in the Washington, D.C. area, and Mr. Flex was bitten by an entertainment bug at the age of 12. He joined the Black Entertainment Television family, more known as BET, in 1996 as a DJ on Teen Summit. Through his career, he has collaborated with hip-hop icons like Ludacris, Lil Jon, Salt and Pepper Groove, Theory, and I'm too young for that. Flex has also traveled to Canada, Germany, Switzerland, Mexico, and most recently Africa to rock parties overseas, providing fans with a taste of the nation's capital, including DC's original music, Go Go. He also gives back to the community in a variety of ways, including working with schools and students in youth-related issues, as well as providing tutorials to those who are trying to break into the entertainment industry. Flex was in Maryland with his wife and daughter. Give it up for DJ Flex.
All right. Good morning. How y'all doing? Look, mine's gonna be quick. All right. I gotta get back to work, so this one's gonna be quick right here. But I want to send some love to everybody in the building. I'm gonna tell you one thing. When I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror, and every day I say, "Viviendo el sueño." Every single day. If you don't know what that means living the dream. I am living my dream. It wasn't easy to get here, but every day when I wake up, I go to work, but I have fun. I don't know. I wasn't really into school heavy like that, like I was supposed to be. but I made it through. I heard my man saying he was a C student. I was too. But when I found something I was passionate about, I was all in. And for me, it was music. I found out at a very young age the power of music is incredible. It's never failed. Think about this. When you go to a birthday party or something like that, and the music come on and get you dancing and you have a good time, it brings you up. If you go to a sad event, like somebody dying or something like that, at the funeral, the music kind of helps you cope with what you're going through. Your power in music is amazing. And so that's why at 12 years old, I said, I want to be an entertainer, and I want my life centered around music. And that's what I did. I taught myself how to DJ because I didn't have anybody around me to help me. So I had to learn myself. I used to get these recordings from my cousin that lived in New Jersey. He would send them down to me, and I would mimic what I was hearing on these recordings. And then I just taught myself, and then started watching other people who were at the top of their game and started figuring out what they was doing, I can do it, and how can I do it better? That's been the whole thing. My whole career, how can I do something that somebody's doing at the top of their game, but how can I do it better? And it doesn't matter whatever job that you choose in your career, you need to be better than everybody else. You have to be, because you want to be at the top. And you guys always going to be somebody over top of you, but you strive to be better than that person. Here's one thing you have to deal with though, and I still deal with it today. You gonna get, if you start winning, oh, you will get hated. You're gonna get hated. Oh my gosh, nobody wants you to win. Please understand that. Everybody listen to me. Nobody wants anybody in this room to win except for your circle, meaning like your family, your close friends, your people around you. They want you to win, but nobody else cares. Nobody else cares. You guys got it a little bit different than I had it, because you got some technology that y'all can do some really incredible things that you can do at a fast pace that I wasn't able to do. I really wish I had Instagram when I was coming up. Oh my, I was crushed. I was super crushed. I'd be a super duper star right now. But I had to do what I had to do with what I had at that time. But here's the thing, guys. You all can win, but you got to be responsible and you got to focus. You got to stay focused. Understand, they got to hate, but that's all right. When that hate comes, just take it in. It fills me up. Fills me up every day. They say don't read the comments on an Instagram post, Twitter post. I read them all the time. Somebody hate them. Fill me on up, and I take it to the next level. Now, next thing I want y'all to do is know the rules of whatever you're getting into with your career, whatever it is. For instance, do we have anybody that knows about basketball? I'll just use basketball. Anybody know anything? Okay, I'll give it to you like this. One of my basketball people, I'm gonna need you to answer this question. All right, I got the ball, right? I caught it. I go 1, 2, 3, and then I try to shoot. They throw the whistle. What did I do? I tried it, okay? I went across half court, got the ball, and went back. What they call? Okay, I can do this all day. What I'm saying is, if you know the rules of your trade and you know how it works, then you'll be able to go so much farther, so much faster, because you know the rules. So whatever you're trying to do, study that. And find something that you really like. Find something that you're passionate about. Me, I'm passionate about music, and I've found so many ways to do this. So my first love is DJing. I love to be able to get in front of a crowd and spin music to people, and whatever you're going through in your life, for the time you with me, I'm gonna make you forget about it. And you had the best time ever. So when you leave me, you had a good time. You'll be like, yo, I wanna go back and see that guy again. And so that's how I stay employed. You keep coming back. And I appreciate that. When you turn me on the radio, I say I got a good spot on the radio, because a lot of people don't listen to the radio no more, but they listen in the morning for sure, and they listen on the way home. I got afternoon drive, 2 p.m., 6 p.m. If y'all want, give y'all a big shout out on the radio today, and shout the whole school out, because y'all are awesome, man. Y'all been real attentive and real respectful. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right. Now, I got to run through this real quick because we short on time today, but I'm going to say this to you. Once you get into something, make sure you also find ways to grow and continue to learn
So as I started doing my music career, I started making music. And then I developed two companies. I have a record label. Actually, it's three. I got a record label, a DJ company, and another company. And what we do is, my DJ company's doing well. Let me tell you what I'm doing today. Y'all know the Nationals in the playoffs, right? Okay, it's a big game. They up 2 games to nothing. They got to win 4 games to go to the World Series. So the first home game is today. This is a big deal. I mean, it's a super big deal. The city gonna be on fire. The main way you get into Nats Park tonight is through the center field gates. When the gates open today at 5 o'clock, center field gates, when you first come through, who the first person you gonna see spinning records? This guy. I'm gonna be right there crushing. See what I'm saying? I'm gonna play everything everybody wants to hear to get everybody excited about our national. Because I'm passionate about what I want to do, and I need to be better than anybody else. So whenever I get that call, I'm gonna be right there. That's one of my companies. I have another company, and what we do is we do music for television shows, commercials, and stuff like that. I don't know if anybody ever heard of this show called Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I got music on that. I don't know if everybody heard of this show called Power. I got music on that. Samsung commercials. I've done music for the NBA. I've done music for NFL. I've done music for Major League Baseball. I had a big deal with the Dodgers. See, and this is stuff that nobody even knows that I got anything to do with. And then I got a record company, and we put out music. You will have no idea a lot of the stuff I do because I don't need to. I kind of like to fly under the radar because of all the haters. But I done made so many relationships that we able to move. And one thing you're going to need in this game, ladies and gentlemen, is relationships. I don't care who it is. Make sure you treat everybody the same. When I walk into the radio station every day, I shake everybody's hand and says hello to everybody. No matter what my mood is, if I'm up or I'm down, you'll never know. I keep it cool in the radio station because you never know who you're going to meet on the way up, and you can't be at the top forever. And sometimes it's going to come down, and you don't have to go all the way down, but if you're going down, you might need somebody to lift you back up, and I might be the cleaning person who you said, hey, what's up to every day, and now they your boss now. And so now they remember how you treated them. You got to treat everybody the same. And the last thing I'm going to say is, ladies and gentlemen, never stop dreaming. If anything you want to do, you can do it. Look, I'm a DJ. My mother was like, you want to do what? I said, yes, Mom, I want to be a DJ. Man, she did make me she told me I had to go to college, I had to go to trade school or the Army for the backup. I chose the trade school, did all right. I can, something breaks in your house, I can fix it. Good and stuff like that because of my trade. But I prefer to entertain you guys. So ladies and gentlemen, when you wake up in the morning, look in that mirror and say, Viviendo el sueño. Live your dream. Thank you. And if it's okay, can I do this real quick? And I want to put something on my Instagram page. All right, shout the radio station. Let us perform the numbers. WPGC 95.7. Here we go. Oh yeah, it's your man DJ Flex. I'm doing it. Tom Brown. It's your favorite radio station. Oh, let's start now tonight. WPGC. There you go, I heard that. All right? Viviendo el sueño. I'm saying, wow. This is like looking at the west, down in the back. You want to get up one more time with DJ Black. Just like DJ Black said, ooh. Just like DJ Flex said, I'll wait. Let's bring it back down.
Let's bring it back down. Let's bring it back down. Just like DJ Flex said, you can do anything.
Good morning again, Charles Carroll Middle School. We are still in our presentation, so we're going to remain with our homeroom classes until we come on the loudspeaker to transition. So we're going to stay in our homeroom classes until we come back on to dismiss you. Thank you.
You can be anything you want to be in this life. I'll wait. It's my one rule. It's respect. Say respect. Respect. Respect is a two-way street. To receive it, you have to give it. To receive it, you have to give it. And just like you're in Charles Carroll Middle School, the respect that you want from your teachers, from your staff, you have to give it as well. So when they're talking, what are you not doing? Perfect. Beautiful. I think y'all ready to graduate and like go on and be, you know, whatever you want to be in this world. I'm so excited for it. We have one more speaker. How many of you know about PEPCO? Yeah, y'all can go build in the mail. PEPCO says you have an overdue bill and you need to pay PEPCO. We have the former president of PEPCO in the house with us. So all your bills, make sure you give it to him. Ooh! Mr. Graham is an accomplished man. He is a former. He has been inducted into the Hall of Fame for Business. Not only that, but just to tell you a little bit about how Mr. Graham got on the stage today, he heard about, I'll wait, bring it down. He heard about the event happening here today, and he realized how important and how great of an event this is, and he took time out of his busy schedule to spend it with you all, future leaders of tomorrow. Would you please give a round of applause for Mr. Graham?
Morning. I'm going to sit down because I just had my hip replaced. I have arthritis in my left foot, my left knee. There, you can relate to all that. So, you know, what we all have in common here today on the stage is that I don't know one person in this room. It's just not, I want money. And that can't be the end all, be all, is wanting money. And that's going to get to kind of my last point. Do things for people. Listen to me now. Do things for people with no expectation for something in return. When you have done that, you have done a wonderful thing. Because a lot of times in life, people only do things expecting something back. But when you are selfless enough to help your friend, help a family member, help someone you don't know with no expectation of getting something back in return, that really means that you're living a quality life and you're a quality individual. And the last thing I wish I had done at my college commencement, and I really feel this way just because of the relationship that I have with my mother, is I want everyone to repeat after me. And what we're talking about is your mother, your father, your family member, someone who has meant something in your life. And I want you to go home tonight and tell them. So you're going to repeat after me? Is that a yes? Yes. All right. I love you. I louder. I love you. I love you. Everybody, this row right here. I love you. I love you. I will make you proud. I will make you proud. Thank you for letting me here today.
One more round of applause for Mr. Graham. I hope, all right. I hope that you took at least, I'll wait. I hope that you take at least one thing from today and go back and change it and make yourself better. We can all accomplish our goals. We can all get it done. But we have to get it done together. And we have to give respect. We have to have perseverance. Can we do it? Yes. Can we do it? Yes. With that being said, I'm going to pass it off to one of your household names. Give it up for Mr. Dr. Green.
I love Dr. Green.
Good morning. First and foremost, as we close out,
I want to ask you gentlemen, if you all please stand, if you're able to. And I want us to stand up and give these gentlemen a round of applause for taking time out of their day. Stand up and give them a round of applause. Stand up, and give them a round of applause for taking time out of their day. And come and drop dollars for you all. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a seat, please. All right, everybody, attention real quick. So, things like this are extremely important when people take time out of their day and out of their life to come and share wisdom and knowledge with you. And I hope that you all took some mental notes. Whether you remembered everything, hopefully something they said touched you and will encourage you on your journey through life. I think like the brother just said, we look to the end, but it's really about the journey. And when you have the opportunity in a few years to give back, I hope you do the same thing these gentlemen chose to do today. So once again, gentlemen, on behalf of the school staff, the administration, we want to thank you all for taking time out of the day and coming here to support Charles South Middle School. Also, let's give a special round of applause to our very own Dr. Clay for putting this program together for you all. Let's give it up for Dr. Clay. All right, we're going to start this mission starting December 21st. We're going to report to our third line class. So the first one right here, you stand up and start filing out, please. 7th grade first. Let's go. All our fathers that are present, so we please have you all report outside. We're going to get a good picture, including our panel. We have all the fathers that are present and speakers. If you can please report out front, we're going to get a good picture of following the assembly. Next go to filing out. We report the third line. Let's go, ladies, let's go. Starting with the back row, Miss Momo. Mr. Perry, can you start this mission from the back, out the back door? Let's go out the back door.
Good morning again, Charles South Middle School. Thank you, everybody, for your flexibility, and thank you to all of our guests and visitors that are with us today. We can at this time start to transition to our Mod 3 classes, and our first lunch will begin at 10:55.
Thank you all again, you all did a great job.
In the transition to our Mod 3 class, our first lunch will begin at 10:55. If our guests that are here today, we ask that you please come out front. We're going to take a group photo of everybody that came to celebrate with us today. Students, if your father is with us, you can join your parent out in the photo. So any of the guests that are here and your child can be a part of the photo.
I'll be around in a minute.
What a third one, right?
Third mod.
I'm happy we skipped this round.
No comment.
Yeah,
I don't make comments about them being happy about all the cuts. Skipping other pods. That's all you can do. I'm just like, okay, and that's about my response. Yeah. I'm just like, I mean, can't get into that.